Hi there, welcome to Sunnyside Journals. I'm Catherine. Thanks for joining me today. I have a flip through of a Christmas journal I recently completed. You'll see that it's in a very festive keepsake bag, so that I suspect it will just get used for about 1 month of the year and then tucked away back in with Christmas decorations for the rest of the year. So I made a little bag for it and I put some gold tassel on it. I made this bag from a cloth napkin, Christmas cloth napkins. So I've used one, I have three left, and I think it turned out really pretty. Now, I'm not the greatest seamstress in the world, but I do think it turned out very nice. So this little mystery book is in here. Um, just along in this, on the same note of this bag used to be a napkin, a fabric napkin. Everything in this journal, well, not everything, but I would dare say 95% of everything in this book comes from repurposed sources. That means that I found it at thrift sales, rummage sales, yard sales. I have a favorite church book sale that I love going to, and I try whenever possible to make my junk journals from junk, from someone else's. I think they turn out very pretty, but they are repurposed and previously loved. So this little book, it's called a Christmas book, and it was published in 1928. So it's 93 years old, and I think she looks pretty good for her age. Now I forget her size, so let's see. Not quite 4.5, a little bit bigger than 4.5, and again a little bit bigger than 7.5, and not quite 1 inch. Sorry about that. Just a little bit shy of 1 inch. Now, this will be going along with a Christmas book. It's some offcuts from some of the papers I've used. You'll see them when we get inside. And it's some extra folios from the original text block, so that whoever adopts her will have sort of a startup for making some more tags and ephemera. I have put a permanent sari silk ribbon on her to keep her closed in case she eventually becomes an alligator mouth. She'll be able to be tied shut. This book had a little bit of water damage down in this corner. So what I did was I fussy cut this beautiful image of Mary and Jesus and a little lamb just gazing up at them. And you'll see here that I have put in a hidden hollowback spine. There's a little bit of lace there. And there are 5 signatures in this book, and there are 100 pages of varying sizes. I've used laces and some ribbons, and I think it turned out really pretty. So here's the inside. A little tuck spot here with some little carolers and a journaling card made from some artwork out of a book that I have fussy cut out, and then I backed it onto some tea-dyed paper and did a little bit of stenciling on that. This was the only color plate that was in the original text block, so I put it front and center on the first page. Inside here is a little tuck spot that I've made with music and another little caroler. And again, I find my things out of books, I trim them down, I back them onto tea-dyed paper. In this instance, I stamped this on, but it can be journaled on. I also put a little bit of gold detailing on the corners. I think that goes nicely. Here's one of the original first pages. Some of the pages had to be fortified with washi tape. So you'll see some washi tape here and there throughout this book. Here's the original front page, and I put a fussy cut of Mary being told by the angel about the busy night that she was going to have coming up soon. And you can see there that the publishing date is 1928. This page is the story in Luke about the birth of Christ. I've put a little fussy cut there of Mary and Jesus, and I've written down there in pencil that it came from a Bible that was published in 1922. It's very faint, and you can erase it if you don't want that there. Some stenciling on the tea-dyed paper and some lace sewn on. I've double knotted all the sewing in this book. That way, if you don't like the threads that I've left long, you can trim them off. Here in the center signature is some music from the Messiah. And on this page, I fussy cut from an Ideals book, a vintage Ideals book, and I put a little illustration there. And again, it's the story from the book of Luke. And then I tucked in behind a little journaling card with a little bit of stenciling on the tea-dyed paper that I backed it onto. Again, a little bit of just subtle stenciling here and there. And there are original book pages in every single signature. I did this with tea-dyed tissue paper to show you how you can create journaling pages from pages that have printing on them. In case you're thinking, well, what can I do with this? Well, you can collage on this. You can glue envelopes or tags onto it, or you can do as I've done and put tissue paper on it so you can still see the original print in behind, just a hint of it, but you can write entries onto it. And I did a bit of stamping on it. Here I've tucked in a vintage card that's blank and can be used for journaling on, or you can even actually use it to send to someone. This is vintage. You can see the glue there. That's old glue. I don't recommend licking this envelope shut. However, I will leave that up to you, but I don't recommend it. It's old glue. And I put a little tuck spot here with a bit of lace. I have a Christmas music book that has the most beautiful borders around all the pages of music. And I made use of quite a few of those borders in this book. A little bit of lace edging on here, and I've used some distress ink to make it really stand out and look pretty. Here's some tea-dyed music composition paper. Here's another vintage card with Mary on it. And it was actually originally a birthday card. So I put some poinsettias here. And you can journal in here and also on the back. Or again, use it for collaging. Some Christmas hymns, Silent Night. A little bit of stenciling here and some nice gold lace here. Quite a bit of gold in this. I felt that it was a nice tribute to this beautiful cover that has the manger scene there. Tea-dyed paper from a book on how to do calligraphy. And it has a little bit of a tip out, and it was ring bound. So I ran some ribbon through it, a beautiful royal blue ribbon, Mary's color. Stenciling again, here and there. This is a reprint. It's not a vintage postcard, but it is a reprint. And it's a print. I loved this one in particular because usually it's Mary holding the baby. And I like this one because Joseph's holding the baby. Some more little carolers here. I cut this up. I fussy cut it from actually a vintage Easter card. And I still thought it was appropriate with all the little carolers that are in the book here and there. So I made it, it had some Easter lilies on it. So I simply fussy cut a poinsettia and put it on there. And it's also a tuck spot. So you can, it's almost like a belly band, I guess. It doesn't go full length, but it's big enough to hold some little note papers or what have you. It's a really pretty book. I really enjoyed making this book. A permanent bookmark ribbon in it. I used holly fabric in behind to sew the text block together. This paper here was actually the end papers from another book that I made a while back. And so I saved them because I thought they were pretty. It was kind of like a gold color. Hope that's coming across from my camera. Again, some more of that edging that was around the music in a book that I had previously cut up. And I put in a little tea-dyed paper with some stamping on it. Oh, there it is down there. To tuck in there. And then here's another little vintage card with a little angel on it. And you can just journal in there. Or again, if you want to send that to a friend, it's just tucked right there for you. Here's a page out of a book that a friend sent to me in Happy Mail. They're like little tiny ideals magazines, and they're vintage. And I just thought it was pretty. More stenciling. This tea-dyed paper was done by my friend Nancy over at Wishes and Weeds, and I swear she is the queen of lacy tea-dyed papers, and I was so happy to be able to put this here in the center, ready for you to do whatever you need to do in here. It's so pretty. Again, more lace here. The other side of that, a little ideals book. The shepherds looking at the star. And I made a postcard out of a book that had this image in it of a postcard. But I made this, and I backed it onto a vintage postcard that I didn't particularly like the picture that was on it, so I put this one on it. And that could be, since it says Joyeux Noël, it could be Père Noël, Father Christmas, St. Nicholas. So many names for that wonderful guy. So I just tucked that there. On the back here, you'll see some more carolers here. So I've tucked in some more tea-dyed paper with a little fussy cut ivory poinsettia, which are my favorite colored poinsettias. Here's another picture. This is Mary of the Snows. So I put her there as the end page tuck. Some more papers. This was in the original text block, and I just thought it was cool with the printing here. And some more tea-dyed paper with a little bit of stamping on it. And then, of course, it's not a Sunnyside journal if it doesn't have a Two Nanas bookmark. And I backed it with the same paper that I used for the end papers and put some fussy cut poinsettias on it. I really love how this book turned out. The ties that I put on, I left looped. If this bothers you, you can snip them in half and then you'll just have double ties for the ribbon closure. But I really find it actually is a nice way to tie them shut and they don't get all tangled in each other. So let's tie that. So there is a Christmas book from 1928. And again, I will be sending along a little bit of extra papers that were left over. And of course, it will come along with this bag, the keepsake bag for when you put away your Christmas decorations for the year. This cord, I have sewed it onto the back so that you won't lose the cord. It'll just always be there. But I didn't want to encase it in and make a drawstring that way because it's so beautiful. I didn't want it hidden. So if you're wondering why I did it that way, I did it on purpose. So thanks for joining me. This journal is going to be up in my Etsy shop probably within a day. I will announce on my Instagram account when exactly it will be in my Etsy shop in case you're interested and you want to go over and take a look. Plus, if you favorite my shop, Etsy will notify you when I put new listings into it. And the link is down below. Thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this flip through, and I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. Take care. Bye.